call the June 16th meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Mike Petty.
Here.
Brady Farwell.
Here.
Kyle Sanders.
Here.
Steve Sherritt. Carrie Pruitt.
Here.
Jamie James.
Here.
Jason Edley.
Here.
Mary McNeil. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. We have in our packet the May 19th minutes. Take a look at those, and I'll welcome a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second. I apologize. I don't have the minutes in front of me, but I do think there was like one misspelled word. It was like site, and it should have been site instead of sire. I just distinctly remember that today. Just
Okay.
stating that, but that's the only correction I would make.
Yeah, it's the last sentence from the last one.
Thank you.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I'll make that change.
All right.
Make a motion to approve as amended.
Very good.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Do we have anyone here tonight wanting to make a comment about the agenda items that we have? Very good. Thank you. We have no public hearings tonight. First item of old business, JDF Properties to request rezoning of property located at 103 Mack Street. That's map 111K, parcel 018.00 from R1 low density residential to R2 medium density residential. This is deferred from the May 2026 meeting. Jason?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ford is here to answer any specific questions on the request, but basically we deferred it. We've had some conversation at staff level about the request. Have it on the screen in front of you. It's kind of highlighted his parcel in particular. He built a new home there a couple years ago. That is a large lot. It would meet R2. He had some ideas on possibly rezoning that parcel. However, there's nothing else on that side of the street that is R2. Everything's R1. Everything behind it, starting with parcel 4, 55.5 or 55.0 and 3, as you can see in your staff report, is all R3. So there's some zoning changes there. Miss Amanda could not be here tonight. She's on vacation, but you should have a copy of her staff report for this agenda item, and basically kind of just mentioned the requirement for R2 and did mention there's no R2 in the direct vicinity of that particular parcel. Other than that, I'll yield my time to the applicant or the commission if you got any questions.
Dave?
We built the structure there. When I bought the property, it was a vacant lot that was overgrown. Bought it, cleaned it up, wanted to put a duplex there, realized it didn't have the appropriate zoning. We went ahead and built the structure. It's 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Rented it to a local company, decided to stop renting to them and decided to sell it. When we put it on the market, it didn't perform well. The reports back to us were because of the neighborhood. So it looked like a property that I was going to continue to own because I didn't want to have a bad investment. And a duplex there, which is kind of what that building was designed to be, it would be very easy for us to convert it to make a downstairs and upstairs unit instead of having a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. But in order to do that, we need to be a minimum of R2. So that's what my petition is, that we can rezone it to R2 so that we can convert that structure into a duplex, which for us opens up a tremendous amount more of potential renters instead of having to rent it to private companies. We chose R2 because all we're seeking is to make a duplex instead of R3, which it abuts to. Like, I understand that all the property that's behind it is R3. We don't necessarily need the R3 zoning. We just want to convert our current 4-bedroom, 2-bath configuration into an upstairs and a downstairs duplex units.
Just to add some additional staff report, we did kind of encourage the applicant to maybe talk to some of the neighbors on that block, and from a planning standpoint, maybe them sign on and make the whole block R2, that may free up some options for them in the future for redevelopment or even some subdivide on the parcel up on the corner. But he didn't have any luck with that. There again, at this level, it's discussion, it's questions, and a recommendation to the council had to go for a public hearing at the council level for a zoning change. Therefore, tonight would be a recommendation from this commission to push forward, if you whatever your motion may be, and then the applicant can take that request and either pursue it or withdraw it, depending on his next steps. But you're not going to rezone it tonight. This is just recommendations for the council.
So for clarification, it doesn't go to zoning from here, it goes to council?
So it does, yeah, correct. It goes straight to council, set public hearing, just your normal procedure for rezoning. This body, planning commission, is step one, of that request.
Why doesn't a rezoning go through zoning?
Well, it does. This is zoning. You're considered part of that component. Like I say, we start at staff. We talk about the possibilities. We encourage smart planning. You would think, and if everybody would like to sign on that side of the street to go R2 to kind of make it more clean, that's a suggestion from zoning. There again, the due process is it has to go to council for the jurisdiction authority to make that zoning change for property. It doesn't lie here. You just simply review it, recommend it for or against, or no recommendation. And then council will set public hearing and actually have that public hearing at the council level with that governing authority to change the zone of that parcel.
Okay, so we're looking at 18,
Yes, sir.
the purple.
Yes, sir.
And then
Yeah, that's,
is anything that we're looking at up here currently being used as multifamily?
not that I know of. That's an older part of town. The R3 zone in some of those parcels, not really sure why. These zoning maps go back to the mid 70s as you progressed. So I really don't know why there's some R3s in those areas over there. Typically they're all single family type dwellings.
But it's all being utilized
As
R1.
correct. That's
But
correct.
it may be an R3 zone, but it's not,
That's correct. Yes, sir.
in practice, that's not what's out there.
That's correct. Yes.
Is that true on both sides?
Yeah, if you look on the staff report, the illustration is kind of highlighted on both sides of Mack Street is an R1. Everything back towards town in that block from Travis to Blue has some R3. On the you can see a little bit of shade area on Travis Drive above, right up the street, that does have some R2 on the map. I could pull that up real quick if you'd like to see it.
There's some duplexes over on Travis Drive, right?
I think so. Yes, sir.
What's that?
Yeah.
There's several. that are
Yeah.
there. There's a new one that they just built,
Yeah.
but then over off of Blue Road, there's, back closer to town, there's a few other duplexes there, but they've been there decades.
Yeah. These areas are, Dickson, you kind of annexed over the years and you kind of zoned what was in the area. Of course, if you keep going south, you'll go into, the dead end of Blue Road, Allen Road, going in the Burns 96 area, some developments over there. There's some different zoning changes, but predominantly they're duplexes and single family.
growth plan, what's that area? Is it just still residential? It's no,
Correct. Yeah, it stays residential. Yes, sir.
and they do like to see, council like to see some sort of recommendation come from planning and zoning on the rezoning request.
Your other option is, you can defer, one time, from an agenda item of this nature. You can defer it. You can recommend for or against or no recommendation. Like the chairman said, the council, leans on some type of recommendation. If you don't think you're quite ready for a recommendation based on just seeing the submittal, of course, it was deferred. So it was in the packet, but it's actually here in the item. You do have an option to make a motion for that.
When we consider rezoning a property and we look at the property around it to see if it's sort of, there's a term,
You're talking about spot zone?
like spotted.
Correct.
Do we look at the use of the property around it, or do we look at the zoning of the property around it?
It's kind of the same. You know, typically when you hear about spot zoning, technically they talk about a commercial spot zone in a residential area, which is prohibited. But also you can use that term, something like this, you know, if that whole block right there is R1. So if that parcel changes to R2, it would look to be a spot zone. However, that lot does fit R2. There's just not anything in the close vicinity to match it. That's why from a zoning perspective from staff, we would try to recommend the first deferral, first from staff level, to maybe all the neighbors would take that whole block and join in that request, and it would be real clean, because then you have an R1, an R2, and then everything else is R3, even though they're single family. So you try to keep that clean, but there's always unique circumstances. But there again, it's up to this commission, kind of how you feel about it, what kind of direction you think as a commission.
And none of the neighbors were interested, none of the other property owners or neighbors were interested in
No.
going down that road.
So it's currently being used as a rental, and it will continue to be used as a rental because that's compliant with the R1 zoning. And if it goes to R2, it will still be used compliant. We'll be using it as a rental. The difference is it'll go from being a 4-bedroom, 2-bath rental to being 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So for slight modification, I can change the structure that way. So as far as the use goes, I think the neighboring properties that actually are on Mack Street, 2 of the 4 are rentals now. That's my understanding. And that 2 of the other parts, the owners actually live there. So the area has a lot of rental property, just like the neighboring, just everything to the west that's already zoned R3, where it's primarily used as single families. But it's zoned R3. There are some duplexes in that area, some that are old, some that are new. So it is going to be continued to use as a rental.
But it would be the only thing over there that's zoned R2.
That is correct. And if the board or the council thought that it would be better for me to petition for it to be zoned R3, because then it abuts R3 zoning, then I wouldn't have any problem changing and resubmitting that. I only asked for R2 because that met the burden of what we wanted to do for use of the structure. But to eliminate the spot zoning so that you didn't have one R2 lot amongst R1 and R3, then I could certainly resubmit it with, hey, I want to zone it R3. That is beyond the use of what we really needed to do there, or what our desire to do there.
I'm just sort of looking more to the use of the property around it, not necessarily what hypothetically could be put on those other properties. Is, you know, it's, I don't know, it just looks all single family right there to me, despite the fact that they could, you know, number 5 here could cut it up, I guess, and, you know, put more on there with it being R3, but they've chosen to not do that.
So would the continuity be better asking him to come back for R3 or keeping it as R1 or plugging in an R2 right in the middle of it?
And I assumed if we changed it to R3, the use would be exactly what you're proposing right now, which,
Correct. The duplex is a permissible use under the R3 zoning, just the same as multifamily. We wouldn't change any of the exterior. We wouldn't be looking to do anything other than putting another kitchen upstairs. So we would just want it to be continue to be a duplex, which is a permissible use under the R3 zoning.
Brandon, what do you think? Got any thoughts?
Kind of in the line of what Kyle's going. I mean, I don't. There is a lot of single family around there. So it's almost like you're opening up a door there that you don't really, I don't know if we want to open that door first, because this is a good example of a spot zone.
Gary?
I agree with Brandon and Kyle. I like spot zoning. It's Ward 1.
So what do we need to do what would be the motion for everybody's following your train of thought?
if I'm right, or at least, you know what I mean, it would be to forward to council with a recommendation to deny the rezoning request, right?
Leave it.
Leave it R1.
Brandon, is it
Yeah.
anything back, David?
No, I understand. I think I understand everybody's position as far as what the current use is and how you would like to protect that. And I think I understand clearly.
Okay.
Are there questions of me or the use of the property?
No, I think we're comfortable with that.
Okay.
We're okay with that.
So was that a motion and a second?
Yeah, I'll make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
So we've got a motion forward to council with recommendation to deny the rezoning request. With premise of keeping it R1. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Petty,
Aye.
Cardwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James, Everly,
Aye.
McNeil.
Aye.
Pass.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Next item of old business. Trent Smith to request site plan approval for property located at 204 Hensley Drive. It's map 111A, Group A, Group A, parcel 001.01 for PNC Bank. And this was deferred from the May 2026 meeting too. Jason?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Smith is here. As you know, we discussed this in great detail last commission meeting. There were some corrections to go away with and come back. You should have a copy of some staff reports back in May 19th. You should see a return of some lettering in red where they kind of went down the list. It should have been in your packet. I think most of the things were addressed. They talked about some of the stormwater drainage easements to the ponds. They talked about the finished floor elevation of the main building was added. Let me see, there was some utilities that was not shown originally. They are shown on the revised plan. Underground utilities was still unclear at the time. I did have an additional note from engineering, just confirming the TDOT conversations with access and sidewalks. I know that's depicted on the plan. Did they have a follow-up meeting with the TDOT on the access?
We really can't until after they take action.
Yeah, so that's always a little bit moving target. Sometimes the state will do an assessment based on the site plan review from the cities. Sometimes they do some pre-planning. I know this one was talked about originally about access to that property. Of course, this is the old library site we're talking about, but I think on the revised plans, it shows access and it shows sidewalks. That was some of the things that was listed. The only thing that I wanted to mention from staff level was we had a lot of conversations on stormwater and drainage easements, and the comment response was outside purview of the planning consultant. Planning consultant is kind of like planning commission, and we did kind of want to try to nail down some of those things. So I may let Trent speak to that, because it is important at this level to know a little bit about those easements that we brought up on going to the master stormwater detention. So I know you made some revisions of that. So can we start right there and explain what the final plan was going to be? I know it's not designed, but what the theory was.
The theory is there will be no negative impact stormwater related from this project. And city ordinances require that we cause no increase in our rate of stormwater release. That will go through the city engineer, their review, and typically that would be accomplished through some kind of detention pond. We show the location of that pond on the drawings, and we show some kind of cryptic easements that will get water from this site to that pond.
So the last submittal we seen, it just kind of sheet flowed, and now you're showing a kind of a concentrated area to the detention system.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll.
Is that piped? You're showing that's going to be piped?
During the design phase, we'll pipe that.
Okay. Jamie, I think we was.
Yeah, I was the one who made the comment, and it is item 14 on the checklist for the site plan checklist. Is locations of all easements and things, and the stormwater ordinance says that all ponds and things have to be in an easement, so just,
And they're shown.
okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else on the comments you want to address, or?
I think there,
There was one more item that they was not ready for, was the design review. They were not ready to send that back yet, correct? So that was something else that came out of the discussions. You know, that did fall in the target area for design review. They're not quite ready to show that yet. So any approvals tonight is still contingent on the design approval that will come later. They didn't have it ready for tonight. So you'll still see this one more time, but I believe, I believe the revised drawings that you should have in your packet addressed what the comments were.
From my knowledge, Jason and Trent, when you do stormwater drainage assessment and sort of a planning on this in a property that's only going to be partially developed at this point, are you planning for the whole property or are you just planning for the part you're developing at this time?
I'll tell you how I do it, 'cause other people
Sure.
can do it differently. I'll plan for the whole property because my client probably only wants to build that pond one time. So we'll assume portions that are not part of this project, I'll assume that they're 90% impermeable.
Okay.
And we'll design that pond.
That's what I was kind of wanting to get at. Thank you.
Yeah, just kind of reiterate that this bank location is just a portion of that parcel.
Sure.
You're going to see something else later that, to your point, we'll use that detention system that has to be sized correctly. There again, that comes through the engineering approval with the engineering office.
So all the issues from the site plan have been addressed and they're fixed.
Except for the design review. Yes, sir.
And I would make a motion to approve the site plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Petty,
Aye.
Cardwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Beverly,
Aye.
McNeil.
Aye.
Okay. We have no design review business tonight, so we'll move on to the new business. Columbia Cove LLC to request final plat for the property located at Old Columbia Road, map 120, parcel 065.01, Pence Place, 46 single-family lots, an R1 cluster, and it's reviewed under the 2022 zoning regulations. JP?
Thank you, Chairman. So this is the final stage of Pence Place. This is out on Old Columbia Road. You have the exhibit in your packet. You have the application. So they're it's graded. They've worked on all their as-built surveys and things for engineering. All that's in place. We have a copy of all of the covenants for the property. We have a check for the topping bond. All that, sometimes you would see a bond. This was actually just a cash check in lieu of the city. That's a Treasury Department has to escrow that money, but basically the surety for the topping of this road is in place. It is here. They've already dropped that off to the Treasury Department. There again, those numbers are set from engineering, so we don't have to set those anymore at this level. So you don't really see that anymore, other than I'm just trying to inform you, they do have the topping bond. They do have the HOAs. The as-bills were approved. They're ready for the final plat. And once they get through this, it'll be signed and recorded if it's approved tonight, and you'll start seeing construction in the coming months out there. The only other two things to add was there was a comment. About the mail kiosk. There was no parking spaces there. That was something that was not on the preliminary, and also there's sidewalks in this subdivision. In theory, the parking stalls for kiosk are in more multifamily settings, not necessarily in a single family setting, especially something this small. So they are not there. Staff is okay with that. Engineering's okay with that as well, since everything's kind of bonded, curbed, everything's done. Typically someone would just park and walk down to the mail kiosk on the sidewalk and not actually park. If they stop there, they'd be there for a minute to get the mail, but typically your parking stalls are in front of your multifamily kiosk areas or larger subdivisions. But there again, it was not drawn out on the preliminary that way, nor the civil drawing, so it was not in place. But we're not too disturbed about that from a staff level on something this small with sidewalks. Other than that, I didn't really have anything else to add. Mr. McCormick is here if you got any specific questions for the developer.
Jason, I did see one other comment in the review about, the driveways not encroaching on the sidewalks. Is that something that you guys are prepared to handle at staff level?
Yes, sir. We talked about that, the offsets, we don't have the floor plan, we don't have the floor plan of the houses because they hadn't been submitted. The area where the front of the building envelope to the edge of the sidewalk is 15.5 to 20 feet, plus or minus. The houses will set into that, so typically don't have a whole lot of trouble with that front setback. We're okay with it. But there again, when they come in to get their building permits, we just assure that they are behind that first setback. So there's not, you get a large dually truck, Cowboy Cadillac, we call them. We don't want to make sure that trailer hitch or something's not in the sidewalk. They'll have plenty of room to pull that vehicle up. That's kind of more of a site approval in-house once they get the plat approved and pull permits on that actual structure.
I just want to make sure that y'all were tracking that for the site approvals or the permits, because there's a 15-foot setback.
Mm-hmm.
And a truck will hang over the sidewalk with 15 feet. So.
That's right.
Okay.
What's the numerical address of this property?
I don't know if
It just says Old Columbia Road.
yeah, it's just a map and parcel because it's a large tract, and I don't know if they have an address they have addresses for the lots now. I'm not sure if they had an address for the
I'm
development.
just looking at it on the map, trying to figure out exactly.
Oh.
It is just,
Let me pull it up. I'm sorry.
north of Nottingham Road on Old Columbia,
It's right over by old fire station too.
and just near the connection to Pomona Road and
It's right
Charlotte.
here.
or Old Columbia.
It's this parcel right here. You got there's 46 Pomona. From Columbia Road. There's Nottingham. It's this tract right
It's
here.
pretty square. I went out there today. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Union Cemetery up above it.
That might be. It looked more square.
The map, is there some road already on that?
Yeah, no, that's what I pulled up.
Yeah, all the infrastructure's in. The road's in, the binder's down, all the utilities are in.
I guess Google Earth or whatever's been updated, it's on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You're looking at Google. Yes, sir. Yeah, you probably see some grading going on. They're pretty accurate on those. But yeah, it's ready to go vertical. This is kind of the way we handle all these now. Is you'll see all of the infrastructure in and binder before they ever get a plat to pull permit. In years past, sometimes you'd see some things bonded while they're trying to finish some improvements. We've moved away from that. This works much better to have everything completed, done, the binder down, helps with tracking as they're doing the construction. So all of the major subdivisions we've had in the last several years have been done this way. So this is just ready to get this one going. I think the builder's set to come in the coming weeks and do the pre-cons to go vertical.
I'd make a motion to accept the final plat as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to accept the final plat. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Patty,
Aye.
Carwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Ethley,
Aye.
McNeil.
Aye.
Pass.
Thank you. Next item, new business. DSLD Homes to request an amended final plat for the property located at Highway 96 and Allen Road. That's map 111L, parcel 001.28, Hickory Cove. It's R3 PUD with 27 single-family homes. JP?
This is a kind of a clerical error. We found an error on the plat that was recorded originally. Similar situation on a setback. When the developer got it pad ready, a new builder came in to build. There were some discrepancies on what was actually recorded. So I went back to the original surveyor, made those corrections, and we're just trying to ask for that to be approved, simply just as amended so they can re-record it and everything is accurate, has the correct setbacks and all the wording. There was just some issues on the first one that was actually approved and recorded. So they got to go back and amend it.
So you're needing an approval of the amended
Final.
final plan?
The plat, the final plat. Yes.
Are we voting to change anything tonight that we didn't think we changed last time?
Which one are you talking about?
So like with this, we've already voted on it.
We've already approved it, is what he's saying. Is there
Well,
anything of substance?
but on a plating, since you have to re-record it with a clerical error, you have to reapprove an amended. That's why it's called an amended final versus just a final.
And for clarification of the clerical error, it was,
The front setback. Yeah.
was
20 feet, and that needs to be 15 feet.
okay, thank you.
And that's all.
That's it. That was the catch. That's how they built it and designed it. But it showed 20. It was 15. Actually, they're about 15.8 because they've offset. The garage is offset from the front setback of the house, so there's room. There's additional room there as far as parking a vehicle, but the actual setback on the plat that was recorded was incorrect.
So I think that I'll make the motion to approve this new final plat with the amended information.
You could just say amended plat,
That'd
amended
be
final
great.
plat.
Motion for the amended plat to be approved.
Second.
Now I've got a motion and a second. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
No, it was two.
Brandon.
Patty,
Aye.
Carwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Ethley,
Aye.
McNeil.
Aye.
Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item. Oregon Ready Mix to request concept plan approval for property located on Reliance Road, map 119, parcel 033.00. The BCA application for a special use permit, June the 16th, 2026. Jason?
Mhm.
Okay, it's over there across from,
This property across from Lewis Lumber, Metrocan out in the industrial park. If you went out and kind of looked at the areas on the agenda, you've seen this is it's pretty much kind of rough graded, pad ready. They done that a year or two ago as far as getting this site ready. Earlier tonight, they did go to BZA and got their special use permit. That was approved, so this is step 2 for them tonight. They did submit a plan. We kind of labeled this a concept plan. We had some staff comments, corrections back and forth with the applicant. I think for the most part, a lot of those was addressed. But therefore, as far as how it's worded tonight is a concept, so you'll see this one more time. But there again, special use permit is in place, so that's checked off the to-do list. This is the layout of that parcel. As you can see here, if you have any direct questions at this point, I'll try to answer them. Of course, the applicant is here to answer directly. But there again, you'll see this one more time, approval. As far as a site approval, tonight is a concept to kind of start the process, new tenant for us. So. Give them a little rundown.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Matt with Suter Civil up in Clarksville. We were brought on a few months ago to put together a site plan with one of the architects. And yeah, like he said, this is sort of a concept to just try to get comments from you guys before we spend a lot of resources in grading and utilities and stuff like that moving forward, just to make sure everything's going to look, well presented.
My name's Jack Manning. I represent Portland Ready Mix Investment. I'm a 4th generation concrete business. We're really excited to get into Dickson quickly. So,
Do all of your locations do the same thing?
more or less, we have some larger plants for larger markets and smaller markets, but they're all just a ready mix operation. So they're all the same end, just larger scales sometimes.
Was there any comments from staff or anything?
No, sir. No, we just, this project kind of came through the industrial board, through the county economic team. We didn't have a whole lot of knowledge of it until just here recently. We did know our engineering team did approve a conceptual, just a rough grading plan, knowing it was coming later, and now they're here. So we just kind of starting the process. We got their special use permit out of the way. Now they're kind of get the concept. We'll kind of clean all the other comments up and bring you a real good package for the next meeting to kind of get over that last site plan approval process, and then they'll go right back to civil design for their grading permit. I think that's already been submitted. Some civil plans been submitted.
Well, no.
Okay.
This is kind of a second phase. We weren't as a civil, we weren't part of the first
Okay.
production.
I got you.
We'll probably try to piggyback off what's already been done.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know they've been in contact, communication with our engineering team. So
Yes.
that will definitely come later, but no other comment from staff at this point.
So are we comfortable with the concept of what we're seeing here?
We see it again as a site plan.
Yeah, this would be a
and then
concept,
design
you know,
plan?
this would be a concept. You're approving a motion to approve the concept. Like I said, then they'll come back in July and show you the site plan. So tonight is a concept. So you'll approve, if you wish, a concept, get them down the road. They'll come back, have all the other comments. We got some landscaping, some things we want to kind of clean up as far as the site submittal through the checklist. We'll walk them through that. Everything's kind of going in the right direction to bring it back in July and kind of be done with that part so they can spend additional monies to get into civil design and go through engineering before pre-con.
I'll make a motion to approve the concept plan.
I'll second.
I've got a motion in a second. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Petty,
Aye.
Cardwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Bentley,
Aye.
McNeil.
Aye.
Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, next item. JWS Investments LLC to request rezoning at property located at True Form Way and Dragon Drive. This is map 111, parcel 077.01, from B3 Highway Commercial to R2 Medium Density Residential. It's possible 40 new lots for single-family homes.
Thank you, Chairman. In your packet, you'll see the application. Mr. McCormick is here to kind of answer the specifics, but you'll see a staff report in there kind of showing your aerial, kind of showing what the zoning is. We worked in this area here recently, you know, and beside the church, they done a little small plat for some single family units. And then across the road, we done a rezone for the Mr. Harmon to build some single family units on that side. Just the plat hasn't been sent to the state yet. So the parcel across the street from the church and those lots are, I think, 8 or 9 additional single family lots. So that's changed. So as you can see, what's highlighted is the parcel in question. I think also in your package, you'll see some information from the Water Authority on some infrastructure that they've kind of already done some due diligence on. And then you see a concept, kind of a roundabout in there with with an access. But there again, this is we're just talking about the zoning. We're not really kind of diving into the plat a whole lot at this level just yet. If you see anything that you want to discuss, we definitely can discuss that. But this is just strictly an exhibit for the rezoning for council. So same as before, we're looking for recommendation for or against or defer if you want to kind of look at it a little further. But that's what we're looking for tonight. And I'll yield my time for any questions.
Amanda didn't seem to have any issues with it.
No, sir. It there again, you know, this property's has a commercial overlay. You know, it's like anything else. You just never know how these properties are going to materialize into. You know, you had the church there, and they done some single family lots. You had True Form across the road that's industrial. You know, you would think maybe this would go industrial. It did up the street there. That's where Tennessee Valley Paving, and we done SRM concrete up there, right off the page there. But this parcel is just kind of sitting there, and this could be a better use for the property. If you look at the zoning map, it kind of falls into the R2. What's around it? It would be single family homes to match the vicinity as far as beside the church, and then over there in Old Schrader Heights, which has been there a long time. So there again, it's a request, and just kind of see how we want to talk it out and see what you think about it from a commission level.
Well, spot zone is R2 all around it.
JP, what is this down here below it?
That's the
203?
20320 or
Yeah.
203?
Yeah.
That's a Grace Baptist Church.
Okay.
Still over.
And then they made some lots. I think I remember that.
Yeah, they made some lots right here. They're all built, and then we downzoned this one recently, and I think there's 8 lots here, kind of similar to this side.
Those some recent.
I think I
Yeah,
remember
we
that.
just,
Not too long.
we done that this year, actually, so downzoned. They hadn't been updated on the state yet. But, you know, as far as the zoning point, you know, that property could have went either way. You could have a industrial tenant that wanted to come in there and make an industrial use and apply for an M1, which is across the street. So, you know, they're looking to do an R2. They're asking, you know, your input. You can't get out here and not talk.
I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioner. I'm Chris Goodman with CSDG, just engineering the project. Happy to answer any questions you have for you. Like I said, it's conceptual layout, and just trying to get the rezoning worked out before we move any further.
Any questions for Mr. Goodman or anything on this?
What would be the lot size?
You'll talk about lot sizes and any kind of improvements as far as conceptual layout.
Yeah. Forgive me, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, but it's on this what you got in front of you. It meets the R2 zone.
Let me get back to that.
Probably 8,000 to 9,000 feet.
Got all sorts of tabs open on my computer.
I got you.
8,000 square foot.
The R2 is 8,000 minimum for single family, so that would be a minimum. They could fluctuate a little bit. Sidewalks. You showing
Yes.
you showing underground utility.
Pretty much similar to Penn's Place, but you've already seen tonight.
You got parking in front of the mail kiosk.
We can work that out.
Yeah, that's good. It's 40 lots, right?
Yes.
40, okay.
And as always, when you start getting into
Yeah.
real survey, real topo, it'll fluctuate a little bit, but maybe up or down, but not much.
So we need a motion to send to council with the recommendation.
I make a motion to send to council the recommendation to approve.
Got a motion? Now I need a second.
Second.
Got a second? Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Patty,
Aye.
Cardwell,
Aye.
Sanders,
Aye.
Pruitt,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Heffley,
Aye.
McNeil. Pass.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next item, new business. Russ Barger to request annexation of property located on Holt Road. It's map 1111, group A, parcels 006.00. It's the Don Hudson Estate, 0.005 and 0.007.01. The James D. Glass Estate, 2.47 acres, and possible 4 new lots for single-family homes. Jason?
I don't see our applicant. Sherry, do you have any report from Mr. Barger today?
Last I talked to him after some comments, he said he would be here.
Well, I can just tell you, so I'll tell you what I know about it, and then you can decide from there. So, in your packet, you see the request. This property kind of lays in behind Hickory Cove. And on this exhibit here, that 4 acres could be about 4 nice sized lots. They're probably almost right over a half acre each, R1. But, it seems like it's small. It is a very, very small piece of property that they're requesting annexation, but the process is them to request it, which they did as far as application. We'd have to set public hearing here, which is in the agenda for later, to have a public hearing on that request and show plan of service. Similar we did with Valleywood and Eno Road last year. Even though it's just 4 acres and it could be just 4 lots, we still have to go through the same exact procedure legally to set these hearings, to hear that at planning commission and council. So
Since they're not here, can we defer this to
yeah,
next month?
that's exactly right. Yeah. So you have every right to just, since they're not present, something could have came up. They need to kind of formally be here to kind of talk through that initial request. So
Y'all okay with that? We need a motion just to,
Make a motion to defer to next month.
I'll second.
we've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Next item, we got Stormwater Committee tonight. Trent Smith from Southern Consulting to request a variance from stormwater requirements for the property located at Mathis Drive and Hensley Drive. It's map 110, Group D, parcel 001.05. It's one building with 5 units, 5 tenants. And this was received from city engineer to approve. It's the old subway location, the existing structure and impervious area.
Chairman, yes. So let me
pull this up real quick. It's been a minute since you've seen it. So, that's the old subway on the corner of Mathis and Hensley.
Owner's Wayne Workman, Trent worked with him and kind of put design together. We reviewed it and we actually approved a site plan a couple of years ago. They had some outdoor seating on the side. We had sidewalks. We had some amenities there. So they kind of they went over the threshold of having their 2-year requirement. So they're going to bring it back. And we've done that. We're set to do that, correct? The site plan? Yeah. So we'll bring that back because they're over their 2-year requirement to reapprove it. However, we had some conversations in-house with Brett about all this is already impervious, and they're not really changing anything. So they kind of get a little bit of flexibility to be able to redesign and not have to go through the stormwater tension and all the things. So Brett has reviewed it. We've talked about it. What we need to do is, this is kind of like a housekeeping item because we have talked about it at staff level, administratively, but we do need this listed on a stormwater committee in the minutes for the record, for our MS4 program. So Brett asked for that to be added. Of course, Mr. Trent's here to answer any questions on the engineering side of things, but our engineer did approve the request and asked for the commission to at least have a hearing on it on the committee and make a motion to uphold his decision that they can be exempt on some of the requirements. Does that make sense, Mr. James? Am I wording that the correct way?
It does, but it also doesn't. The variance request says from stormwater quality. It doesn't say quantity and quality. It just says stormwater quality. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I'm probably talking out of order.
No,
I would have appreciated the notes from staff about the approval on that.
Okay.
Because by our regulations, we're supposed to have a stated hardship, and then this would be in what is defined as a priority site in the regulation because it drains to a non-supported stream. And so priority sites have some pretty strict requirements on it.
Trent, I know you, Brett, talked about this site. Can you reiterate some of that? There was something, it was about an outfall, no outfall. Can you speak to what y'all's conversation was? I don't have his notes in front of me, but yeah, it's a good question.
Actually, Brett asked us to come and get the variance. And I'll kind of give you a little, I'm gonna change the subject maybe, but I don't mean to. It's a 7/10 of an acre site. It's relatively flat. And Brett asked me to come and do this because he recognized that there really isn't any place that we can put any stormwater quality features. I'm not too concerned with the stormwater quantity because we're actually reducing our impermeable coverage of the site, so that's not a big deal. But he did ask that we come and ask for the quality portion to be waived, I guess is the proper word. And it's most of that because the site is where we know it is, it's a Mathis and 70. It's just flat. There's no place to put anything subgrade and then have the water get out. We have no existing stormwater facilities city-wise, storm drains or something that we can eventually connect to. It's very challenging to do anything on this flat site. Going to the detention issue, we're not gonna have any increase. We'll have a slight, ever so slight reduction just because we're reducing the whole site's impermeable. We're gonna have some landscaping. Nothing to brag about, but we're gonna have a little landscape. So that's the difference between the impermeable now and what it will be. Can't speak much to the water quality. There's not much to be able to do.
JP, I haven't noticed driving by in a long time, but what's that whole, what's the status?
That it's all complete. So that was the other side of the where it fell over at Popeyes, and they filled all that in with concrete and capped it. He did the same thing on his side, and it hasn't moved. He just simply been working on this project for a long time. He just never ever corrected as far as moving the barricades. So now that it redevelops, they just simply be reconcreted. But there hadn't been any, what they did on the Popeye side worked. They just simply there was an old system that kept collapsing. They just filled it with concrete, and it's been fine ever since. So he was the downstream side of that issue, and it's corrected itself now. I was going to have Brett here on your point because I wanted him to kind of explain it a little bit better. And he's on vacation out of the country this week, so if you would like, we could defer action so Brett can kind of attest to exactly what his position is, just for the record, so we have that on file. That's not a problem at all.
I guess the thing I'm getting at is it falls under the priority site definition.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to do that, there's got to be an undue hardship according to the regulation, the way I read it. You guys may read it differently, and if you do, please speak up. But in order for us to vary stormwater quality, and I know the back of that property falls off towards State Street, so I would assume the water that shoots off in that direction goes that way too. So I don't know if there's a way to put in a water quality unit. I guess the thing I'm getting at is we don't have anything to say this is the problem.
Well, this was something that Brett called me. He's the one that asked us to do this. But if anything, the topography is the challenge. If you can believe it, there's no place to get water out once you put it in a water quality treatment system.
there's not a slope off the back down.
We
towards
don't,
State
we don't, our property doesn't extend to the
Street? Okay,
slope.
okay. I would appreciate having something like that, either from staff or from the applicant in writing.
Yeah.
To say this is the hardship we're requesting the
Yeah.
variance for. That would help us out. quite a
Sure,
bit,
yeah,
Because
that's a good point.
this particular basin, as you know, we've got apartments down there that flood frequently. And Trent, you may not, you and I may not have talked about this in the past. I think Jason and I have. About 20 years ago, Mr. Gertner called me upset about development in this basin because his apartments were flooding, and he was concerned that the city wasn't following their ordinances. And so that's the reason I would like to have something in detail here, just to make sure that we have something for the record and for the city engineer's record.
Yep.
Well, are you talking about in reference to, the rate of release?
That was what Mr. Gertner called me about.
Yeah, we're not
talking
asking
about-
for a variance
I
there.
know,
Oh.
I'm talking about water, we're talking about water quality.
Okay.
here. But that's why I would like to have something, preferably from the applicant, stating this is the hardship and why we need the variance. I understand exactly what you're saying. I really do, and I agree that's a hardship. But when the application comes in, it would be helpful to have that, because that's what our ordinance requires in order for us to grant a variance.
And that is kind of the hardship. I was under the impression that Brett had already
Yeah,
blazed the trail and prepared all this for this night. But if we defer, it sounds like we're deferring, or
yeah, I'm,
at some point.
yeah, like I say, it's just a bad time and he just wasn't able to be here.
What
Just
we
kind
can
of,
do
we defer it.
is at the next meeting also
Mhm.
do the site plan.
Yeah.
Kill two birds with one stone.
I'm not suggesting a deferral, and I don't know what the
Oh.
other members are comfortable with. Because from an engineering standpoint, from a site development standpoint, I understand what you're saying about the hardship. And I'm personally comfortable with that, if y'all are. But I would like to have
Mhm.
maybe something from the applicant stating what the hardship is, just as part of the application for the city's records.
Yep.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I'm all, yeah, that's a very good idea.
And staff input potentially.
Yeah,
if Brett wants to make a
I would
statement
just, from a
about it.
staff, I'll just ask for a motion to defer, because we could, to Trent's point, bring that, he has to bring the site plan back anyway, so we could button it all in one real nice package next meeting to have the site plan, show the corrections, get re-up his 2-year term, have all the documentation that have Brett here, just so it's a good record, good clean record of that meeting in July. Everything's checked off the list. So that's a good idea.
So it sounds like we need a motion to defer to
Yeah.
next month.
Yes,
Okay, and I'll
please.
make that motion.
I'll make the motion to defer then.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Next item, we need to set a public hearing. Huh?
Yeah, we're gonna,
Oh.
Defer this.
well, let's just, no action, just skip it. I'm not gonna
Okay.
defer it because we need to hear it first. I just got a text. I think our applicant was ill tonight, so we're gonna, I'll meet with them and if they want to pursue this, maybe something's changed. So I don't want to set a public hearing not needed.
Okay.
If
okay.
it's needed, when agenda comes out, it'll be relisted.
Okay. Next item, other business. We need to review the minutes from the April 21st, 2026 meeting to be corrected.
Chairman, yes, in your packet, you'll see some minutes back from April 21st, 2026. And it was talking about in the last section about the Valleywood Drive, when they were asking for an R1 cluster. That was denied. However, it mentioned that the requirements did not meet R3 PUD, and it got really confusing. So it was just a misprint in the minutes. So we're asking, the legal way to do this is that we have to amend those minutes for April to reflect the correct wording. Kind of like you did earlier tonight, but since it's already been ratified, you have to reopen those minutes, make the corrections and reapprove them. Because it was a cluster request, not a PUD, so it got very confusing.
So it just needs to be changed to R3 cluster to the R3 PUD,
R1 cluster.
R1.
This was Mr. Trent Smith on the Valleywood Drive. That R1 cluster was denied that night. But as you read the minutes in your packet, it mentioned just R3 PUD. It was just some typo there. It needs to read correctly. Does that make sense?
So I'm just changing two places, R3 PUD, and second to last sentence, and R3 PUD on the last sentence.
That's what
If that's our, yeah,
R1
I
cluster.
saw this in the minute packets.
Yes.
And I saw your concern, and I also noted that was a meeting you were not present at, which was why Sherry made the response in regards to the minutes stating that the motion in the second was appropriate. I just didn't know, did you go back and listen to any recording on that?
Yeah.
And so we had so the proposal is that we maybe misstated what the motion should have been.
Well, I wasn't here,
Right.
like you said, but the concern was the minutes was confusing because it mentioned PUD, and that wasn't the request. And then they were concerned on who made the motion. But she did clarify the motions were correct.
Correct.
But it was for the cluster denial, had nothing to do with the PUD. I think you spoke correctly. It was just written wrong.
You did, yeah, it should have been an R1 cluster instead of R3 PUD.
Okay. Well, then I think we can motion to open the minutes from the April meeting and make the corrections of the minutes to reflect the R1 cluster as opposed to the R3 PUD that was inappropriately placed in the minutes.
Yeah, I think the terminology is we're gonna re-ratify the April 21st, 2026 Planning Commission minutes, and clarify R1 cluster, not R3 PUD.
Well, you've made it very difficult now. I don't know if I want to make that motion. There's a lot of big words in that one.
It says, yeah, but it's the last sentence where it's got R3.
Yeah, it's actually two spaces, right here and right here.
Yeah. Okay, so we need a motion to
Re-ratify.
ratify the April 21st, 2026 minutes to reflect that
R1 cluster to be added in the last section and not R3 PUD.
So moved.
Yes.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Ah,
Opposed, thank you.
Clear as mud, like PUD.
get it right.
Okay. Well, we got a whole variety of stuff here tonight. Okay, let's see. Got that done? Now, the last item is there anyone here wishing to make some comments? A matter is germane to any jurisdiction of this local body. Has anybody signed the sheet to come up and speak?
You'll speak?
No, we don't.
Does everybody understand that section? Have we done that yet? Is that the first one? So,
The first
council,
one has to be on the agenda,
yeah,
and the last one is just
Anything in the city of Dickson.
exactly right.
yeah. The new state law is the first section was, it had to be germane to the agenda. So you could get up and anyone could get up and talk about the agenda item. State laws extended that bill to now anyone can get up and talk about anything germane to that authority, whether it's council or planning commission or BZA. They can just get up and just talk about anything that would be in your wheelhouse, right? But there again, it's not a rebuttal. It's not back and forth. The chairman can limit them to a couple of 3 minutes, and they can say, "Hey, I think planning commission's doing a great job. Or they can say something else. But we have to, so we kind of mirrored what the city council agenda's done. So they do the germane to the agenda front, and the very end is germane to the jurisdiction. So we just kind of, they're all the same now. And we're all live on YouTube. I think we've talked to most everybody here, but everything's live stream on our YouTube channel now. And, so I hate if they can hear me. You've missed a lot of excitement in my 29-year career, so welcome. It may be boring now. All the growth is here, but.
Well, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, you have that motion,
Very
Chairman.
good. We're out of here.